Back on air. Please pick up the video. All right, now, you see the officer. He had his hands on somebody. That white guy runs up, gets him in a choke, pulls him off. Somebody pulls him off. He goes away. The officer is still on the back of this guy that he obviously wants to detain. Other people are coming out and attacking the officer. You're going to see it. You see the kicks. You see them coming from behind. He still has his hands on the guy in the hoodie. That person pulls out of traffic. They're afraid. They don't want to be part of this melee. You see people, they're going to say they're trying to pull the officer off. And you see the guy in the yellow, but they're beating the officer. All right? Make no mistake. And this is the civilian, I believe, that I was telling you about in the hat. Comes out, is trying to keep the officer safe. The officer's getting pissed off, understandably, and now he's going to walk away. Okay? Now they walk off. Then you see them walking off the right upper side of your screen. That's when these officers started to create a position of strength and start pushing them out of the intersection.
Anderson, it's ugly out here. The situation has deteriorated fast. We understand that these demonstrators showed up at about 3 o'clock this afternoon, and it's just within the last 30 minutes that things have really taken a turn for the worse. You see behind me our cameraman, William Walker, if you could pan in there. They've just set a car on fire. Prior to that, they were breaking windows of an Atlanta police cruiser. You have armored vehicles, SWAT team from the Atlanta Police Department, as well as plainclothes officers. These demonstrators came here ready to confront the police. They began throwing objects at CNN Center, breaking windows. If you could pan over to see what they've left behind as that police presence pushed those demonstrators past CNN Center, this is what they left behind. Graffiti, some profanity. I'm sorry about that, showing that live, but it's just this is what's really happened out here, Anderson. They've graffitied those CNN red letters, broken windows out. This is where they were, and as you can see happening live in front of us, if you want to pan back down there, William, another demonstrator is being taken into custody. Anderson, we've witnessed at least 6 people. This is the 7th person that we've seen with our own eyes taken into custody. These objects were thrown with aggression at the police. We did see at one point tear gas, what we believed was tear gas, fired at the demonstrators as they've been pushed back towards the main intersection. If you're familiar with downtown Atlanta, that is right at the main intersection of Centennial and Ted Turner. And I want to pan to the left here, William, if you can, because we're seeing dozens of heavily armed in tactical gear Atlanta police. It seems as though from the state police, rather, Anderson, coming in, flanked by others with tactical gear. I'm sorry, I'm a little breathless. This is really something to see here, Anderson. You're familiar with Atlanta. You spent a lot of time down here. This is nothing that I've ever seen happen. You know, even prior to coming down here, you know, there was hope as an Atlanta resident. This is a place that has really missed out on a lot of the violence throughout the years, especially in 2015 with that rash of police shootings against African-American men. There were demonstrations here, but nothing that turned violent, certainly nothing like this. Hey, I'm sorry, officer, can you just, thank you so much. I know you guys are doing your job, keeping us safe. Anderson, for our viewers out there, we are, from a vantage point, we're behind the Atlanta police line. Go ahead, Anderson.
Yeah, Nick, if you can just give a sense, it's always hard to tell sort of how many people are involved in this, how large this is. Do you have any sense of, obviously with the crowd, it's hard to tell, of crowd size? Because we can see some people obviously in the background, and obviously we see those police, armored vehicles and in tactical gear as well. Do you have a sense of the scope of this?
Yeah, we hate to estimate on numbers, you know. We hate to do that without talking to the police, but just from, you know, an educated guess, Anderson, there's over 1,000, perhaps even more than that. Some people are wearing masks. We have the coronavirus happening right now. The pandemic that hasn't gone away. And you really don't know if those that have showed up are wearing masks because they're afraid of the virus or because they want to conceal their identity while they're confronting law enforcement. We have seen a lot of patience on the side of law enforcement so far here in Atlanta. They were trying to reason with the demonstrators. And again, as I mentioned, it's within the last 30 minutes that those individuals began throwing rocks at CNN Center, breaking those windows. And that's when police made the decision to decide to advance. That wasn't welcomed, obviously, by those that came here to demonstrate. Go ahead.
And Nick, the vehicle that's on fire, it looks like it's a police vehicle. Was that, obviously, I assume, somebody threw an incendiary device? Or, a Molotov cocktail, something like that? We saw black smoke starting to come up, right before we came on air with you. It just started right before this live shot. We don't know what they did to set that on fire, but, right before that, Anderson, they were breaking out the windows of a police cruiser. All those cars had been parked there as a way, I assume, to act as a barricade to flank the demonstrators that were outside of CNN Center. We don't know what caused that police vehicle to go up in flames, but it's on fire now. And of course, I'm sure there's concerns about it exploding. We're far away enough from here, but it's still, this is terrible to witness. It's terrible to witness, Anderson. Mm. And Nick, how long has this been going on for? Because, I saw the crowds outside the CNN Center, I think it was at least an hour ago. How long has this been going on?
They've been out here warming up for at least 5 hours. They got out here from according to our national desk, at about 3 p.m. this afternoon. And that crowd only grew in size as the evening, progressed. You see now they're all basically in front of a corner of Centennial Olympic Park there, the site of the 1996 Atlanta ceremonies. You see now, Anderson, live pictures here. We're going to come back down here as William pans down. A fire truck has shown up here to hope to extinguish those flames. You see empty water bottles, projectiles that have been fired littering across the streets of downtown Atlanta. Another fire truck has just shown up here. It's hard to say this, but things have seemed to calm down a little bit. Another object just got thrown, Anderson. They're still throwing objects.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It looks as if there is right now, I don't know if it's a standoff or just a stand down. It's the police and it's the demonstrators. It doesn't look like there's interaction between the protesters and the police at this point. It seems like people are kind of watching the car burning, and obviously more police are moving in.
That's right. That's a very astute observation. It doesn't seem to be any confrontation right now at this point in this second. But you've been in situations like this around the world. Things can change very, very quickly. So we're going to be keeping an eye on it right now. But, it is quite a sight to see here in downtown Atlanta. Even the police officers here seem nervous. Anderson.
Yeah. Nick, I want to stay with you and with your image. We're also joined on the phone by...
Something just exploded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something just exploded. That car's going up really fast.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a hazard for everybody in that area. Hopefully, the fire truck can at least get to it to put out those flames.